Hey guys, welcome back. Elon just said this.
Care about human-robot interactions, so the human side of that. So you've talked about mostly in the factory. Do you see it also? Do you see part of this problem that Tesla Bot has to solve is interacting with humans and potentially having a place like in the home? So interacting, not just not replacing labor, but also like, I don't know, being a friend or an assistant.
Yeah,
or something like that.
I think the possibilities are, endless. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously like it's not quite in Tesla's primary mission direction of accelerating sustainable energy, but it is an extremely useful thing that we can do for the world, which is to make a useful humanoid robot that is capable of interacting with the world and helping in many different ways. So in factories and really just I mean, I think if you say like extrapolate to many years in the future, it's like I think work will become optional. So like there's a lot of jobs that if people weren't paid to do it, they wouldn't do it. Like it's not fun, necessarily. Like if you're washing dishes all day, it's like even if you really like washing dishes, you really want to do it for 8 hours a day every day. Probably not. So and then there's like dangerous work, and basically if it's dangerous, boring, it has like potential for repetitive stress injury, that kind of thing, then that's really where humanoid robots would add the most value initially. So that's what we're aiming for is to for the humanoid robots to do jobs that people don't voluntarily want to do. And then we'll have to pair that obviously with some kind of universal basic income in the future. So I think
Work will become optional. The potential of what Tesla can do is hard to grasp. There is possibility that a Tesla bot can replace everything you are able to imagine, but it will first target jobs that humans won't voluntarily want to do. Jobs that are dangerous and boring will be the first to be replaced. And when work becomes optional, we will take universal basic income. I think it's time like this we start questioning what is really possible in our physical realm. Question what is possible outside of our work life, and ask yourself what is the meaning of life. If we actually thought about the whole system and history of the world and connect the dots with first principles, we will know that money is not natural. Money is earthbound, and the control of money lies within a very small group of people who have access to influence nation-state, central banks, media, politicians, and whatever nonsense. The universe is so big. A planet like Earth is like a grain of sand in the universe, but we are always so troubled by this paper currency we call money. We rely upon it and go on with our ways of life, while other people print the money to control us. We have to go to work 5 to 6 days a week in our lives just to get some of this paper bill. Pay your mortgage, pay your children's school fees, pay for insurance, pay for food, and spend on clothes that will make you feel rich. At the end of the month, you have to continue going back to work for others. Now, isn't this enslavement? The rich are good at making people run around in circles so that we have no end goal in our mind. When capitalism deems that a Tesla bot is more efficient in output, it can work non-stop, and it costs cheaper to hire, humans will be replaced. I think Tesla bot will change the way we think about our lives. Work is not necessary. A lot of jobs are created just so that everyone has a job. Oftentimes, these jobs are not productive at all. It is taking away resources rather than making extra resources. If Tesla bots can work for humanity, we can better spend that time learning more about actual things and solving real problems. That will make more people a maker rather than a taker. Only Tesla are in the position to make general purpose AI because of their AI expertise. The best and brightest AI engineers are working at Tesla, solving real world AI, mapping out our physical world for their full self-driving. That technology can be transferred to Tesla AI bot. Tesla have the best batteries. Tesla is the best in the world in manufacturing. By the way, shout out to Lex Friedman for asking the questions we all want to know. Is Tesla going to be producing more bots than Tesla cars in the future? And this is what Elon said.
So do you see a world when there's like hundreds of millions of Tesla bots performing different tasks throughout the world?
Yeah, I haven't really thought about it that far into the future, but I guess there may be something like that. So,
Can I ask a wild question? So the number of Tesla cars has been accelerating. There's been close to 2 million produced. Many of them have autopilot.
I think we're over 2 million now. Yeah.
Do you think there will ever be a time when there will be more Tesla bots than Tesla cars?
Yeah, actually, it's funny you asked this question because normally I do try to think pretty far into the future, but I haven't really thought that far into the future with the Tesla bot or it's codenamed Optimus. I call it Optimus Subprime because it's not like a giant, transformer robot.
So do I think Elon is going to be successful in mass manufacturing Tesla bots? I think the short answer is yes. After all, he's able to land rockets and make it reusable, make cars 9 times more profitable than competitors, reinvent batteries, solving real-world AI. And this clip furthers my conviction.
What's your source of belief in situations like this? When the engineering problem is so difficult, there's a lot of experts, many of whom you admire, who have failed in the past.
Yes.
And a lot of people, a lot of experts, maybe journalists, all the kind of, the public in general have a lot of doubt about whether it's possible. And you yourself know that even if it's a non-null set, non-empty set of success, it's still unlikely or very difficult. Like, where do you go to, both personally, intellectually, as an engineer, as a team, like for source of strength needed to sort of persevere through this and to keep going with the project, take it to completion?
A source of strength. I that's really not how I think about things. I mean, for me, it's simply this is something that is important to get done, and we should just keep doing it, or die trying. And I don't need a source of strength.
So quitting is not even like...
It's not in my nature.
Okay.
And I don't care about optimism or pessimism. Fuck that, we're going to get it done.
My closing thoughts is that Tesla have a huge total addressable market. Without Tesla bot themselves, Tesla is already going to become the biggest company on earth. I think the presence of Tesla bot in the future will reshape how we think about our lives. That framework of going to school, get a cert, work for other people is going to be obsolete. We have to stop looking at earthbound problems. Just solve the money problem as soon as possible and start looking outside of Earth. Time is the ultimate currency. Don't trade all your time for boring work that doesn't inspire you in life. Work on projects that gets you excited. So that is my closing thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comment section down below. And by the way, this is a book I want to introduce for you guys to understand digital superintelligence. You can read this book. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I'll see you next week.